You
Doing well. How are you?
hanging in there.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah. Don't do that, baby.
For some reason, the 11th and 12th week has always been like the hardest weeks of the semester for me because you're just so done.
Right.
I think it's like from here on, like here to the end of the semester, it's just like really rough.
Right. In week 13, I'm like, okay, this is it. And 14's okay. But yeah, like 11, like 10, 11, and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, I'm like, what assignments can I not do? That's a problem when you're like spending more time calculating it. Anyway.
Yeah, honestly.
This is so dumb.
This is the last time you're going to have to worry about that, Kristen.
I know, yay!
I'm so jealous.
Like the reality kind of set in the other day, and I was like, it almost doesn't feel real though. Like I have a feeling something's gonna be like, just kidding. So I keep checking my audit, like degree audit. It's happening, but I don't know. It hasn't quite hit me. It's sinking in, but I don't know. Okay.
Oh, excuse me. So do we want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah.
We've got everybody except for Tanner, because Matt said he's not going to be able to make it.
Oh, yeah.
All righty. So, Nikki, when did Brother John say this needs to be turned in? You said he granted an extension, but how long do we have?
Yeah, he honestly didn't say. It was kind of funny. Like, I think he just felt so bad that, like, when I emailed him, like, hey, like, so we can, like, since we, like, lost a week, like, can we have an extension? And I said, honestly, like, any time, like, that you give us, like, we'll be grateful for, just kind of, hoping that he would tell me. And he didn't. He just replied, he's like, yeah, that sounds fine. Like, and I think, like, he just seriously felt so bad that, like, so honestly, I mean, obviously, the closer to the date as possible, probably better, but he honestly never said. I mean, I can ask him, but I almost like, I wanted to like talk with you guys first and see how much time you think we might need before like going
if he asks you when.
Yeah.
Right, just so we don't like shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
It all kind of depends on when everybody can have their parts done, and then Kristen and I can start editing.
Okay, and I was going to go back in. I know we have some stuff due tonight, so either probably tomorrow-ish and like kind of like clean up those parts, because like I just wanted to get everything over so everyone can kind of see.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the highlighting, color coding, I don't know if that made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like after like reading all of them, like those two things that I recommended, contract manufacturing and exporting, actually seemed to make way more sense to what we were trying to accomplish, or what we had talked about like doing with them. But I'm definitely open to like to suggestions, or if maybe I'm like overlooking something. So yeah, so if we need to like go with another avenue, that's fine too. Just like I know which ones to put in which section when I go back and like
and do it.
Type and tweak them, if that makes sense.
I'm confused how the exporting would work, because I think the whole goal of the project is to open something up and sell something in Russia. And so it seems kind of counterproductive to go into another country to produce something so that we can export it.
Yeah. So I thought that the exporting would be considered exporting it from America to Russia, but I could be reading that wrong.
From what I understood, from what he told us, exporting would be exporting out of Russia to other countries.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that won't make sense. Let's see. Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick.
Unless there was like a direct competitive advantage or a reason that it would be cheaper to do it out of Russia, but we haven't really specified that. So.
Yeah. Well, and the whole premise of everything up until now is how it's such an unmet need in Russia.
Right.
So if we use export, I don't know that would go over very well. Now, there will be a little bit of exporting because we're planning on selling on Amazon.
Okay, so
not one of
yeah,
our
and that's kind of where I was like thinking like the direct exporting is a company, like so us in America markets to an overseas market, our overseas market, which would be Russia, and fulfills the orders by exporting to the customers like in Russia, like via Amazon is kind of what I was thinking. I may be totally misreading that.
Yeah, but the thing is that we're importing the filaments into Russia, and then we're going to produce them in Russia. That's where the manufacturing is going to take place. So
okay, so then will we be a Russian company or will we be an American company?
We're an American company that's
We're doing a foreign investment in Russia.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Right, it's direct and foreign direct investment.
Company contracts with various types of intermediaries to market. Okay, so contract manufacturing I still think makes sense.
Definitely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Then yeah, I think Josh that's Josh, right? I'm like, sorry, I'm like looking at the thing and not the Zoom meeting. I think he's onto something. Then maybe foreign direct investment might be the best way to go then, like, because it is an investment made by a company or an individual from one country, which would be USA, in business interest in another country, which would be Russia, in the form of either establishing business operations, which would be the manufacturing, controlling. Yeah, so I think that's definitely the way to go. And maybe rather than like greenfield investment, which would be a lot of cost because you're building your own, factory or whatever from the ground up, like brownfield investment. So like FDI, brownfield, and then in addition to that, the contract manufacturing, because that just seems like it may work. I mean, because I just can't imagine trying to like, because you have to basically start from the ground up if you did a greenfield. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know how you really would do a greenfield and a contract at the same time.
Right. Okay. So
the contract just makes so much more sense.
Okay. So brownfield, right? Because we have to choose one of the two out of foreign direct investment. They either have to be greenfield or brownfield. So brownfield, we're thinking.
Remind me what the brownfield is. That's where you go in and you just kind of like take over an existing.
Basically, yeah. And you might have to like renovate or improve like the existing building or facility to bring it up to code. Sorry, I took my glasses.
There it is.
Necessary to produce the product. So obviously we'd have to like make it fit
right
what we're doing.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Okay, so I'm gonna undo the green on exporting. So let me undo that. I'll do that to red then, since that's not gonna make sense for us to do. But I guess my only thing is, where do like the Amazon orders and the pharmacies come into play? Does that make sense? Like, because that's kind of been, or do we just kind of like not address those, or because that was kind of my other thing. It's like, okay, we kind of got the business there. We've got the, we figured out how we're going to get the filament there. We figured we're going to actually like produce it there or manufacture it there. But I'm not sure where, or if we even have to address how we're going to get it, or like, you know what I mean? Like when I say like modes of entry, maybe that doesn't fall under modes of entry.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Kristen, Camille, and Josh, what do you guys think about that? That's more in the sales and the distribution than the mode of entry, isn't it?
Yes, because once it enters into Russia, then we distribute it to the different methods of how we're selling it from there. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Kind of what I'm looking at is the final section, because that's usually an accumulation of everything. And this is all logistics as far as what are you going to do to get your product manufactured, you know.
Okay. Okay, that's actually perfect, because I think that that's kind of been like my like hang up is like I felt like I had like I was like, where does this fit in? But no, like that actually makes way more sense. So I won't.
So all we have to worry about is
that
getting stuff into the
okay,
country.
so I won't worry about that part, and I'll just like, because yeah, that's why I haven't moved anything around, because I wasn't sure which way we were going with it. So then I can go back in there, probably not tonight, but tomorrow, and get it all cleaned up and rearranged and condensed with like taking out a few of those bullet points. Do you guys want them still in bullet points? I know that he's like a big bullet point person, but I mean, obviously there's a ton in here right now.
However, goes best for you.
Okay.
If bullet points are easier, then go for it. Personally, I think they're easier, and since he likes them, I like them too. But
okay.
if it's easier to write it out in a paragraph, then write it out in a paragraph.
Okay. I was just thinking because it like takes up so much room. Like I'll keep the bullet points, but I think I might condense a few of them. Like when it's like advantages, I might just like do like one bullet point for advantages and then just like comma all the advantages, and then like one bullet point for disadvantages and comma them, or something to that effect. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways to like keep it in there, but not take up so much room. Because like I remember like on the last, one of the sections that was like really heavy in what I thought was like we had to like regurgitate information. That was one of the things that he come back and said like don't do like word for word, like paraphrase in your own words. So I just But then after he said like, oh, the PowerPoint has everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just not sure how much he wants regurgitated versus like paraphrasing it. So what do you guys think? Like, should I try to paraphrase it, like the different sections? Like this is what a wholly owned subsidiary is, or should I just try to keep it as much from the PowerPoint as possible?
I mean, if you did it straight from the PowerPoint, then you'd have to put it all in quotations. And that was something that he said that he like didn't want us to do, is to keep it or to have a big chunk in quotations, because then that's like less our brains doing stuff. So I would say paraphrase personally, but okay. I mean, again, it goes back to like how many different ways can you say the same thing?
Right.
Well, looking at the rubric itself, it says identify and discuss those modes of entry options that are likely to be unrealistic. That's why you feel they would not be workable. So maybe put
just a couple in there rather than like all the ones that we're not going to choose.
I would go ahead and I would put the ones that we're not going to use, and then just
explain why.
A brief a brief little paragraph or statement of what it is, without just paraphrase what it is.
Okay.
And then put the cons in bullet points.
Or like instead of having the advantages and disadvantages of every single one, like keep in like maybe like paraphrase the sentence about what it is, like Trisha said, and then just say like which specific like cons or like advantages we didn't care about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so kind of like the exporting, for instance, like we're trying to like do business inside of Russia, not just market to Russia or something to that effect.
Like that,
yeah.
So 10.1, you're listing the things that would not be realistic. So in 10.1, let's say, for example, do equity, foreign investment, FDI, just a really quick, maybe one sentence explaining what an FDI is. And then in bullet points underneath that, put the cons, which you don't want. And then in section 10.2 is looking for the ones that may be realistic. So do the same thing, just a quick paraphrase of what it is, one or two sentences explaining what it is, and then just put the advantages in bullet points underneath that.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. And like it's really uniform. I think it'll read really well.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So don't pay much attention to how it's laid out right now. because like it's literally all over the place. It makes no sense. But I will definitely take all that into I don't know, duration, whatever, like the correct word. I'm like my brain's not thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll consider all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take all that under advisement. And yes, and I'll get it all prettied up. So yeah, like I said, like depending on how much or how long that student night takes, I'll try to do some of that tonight. If not, I'll definitely do it tomorrow. So when do you want this done by?
Well, it
It is
depends.
a little bit longer, but
Yeah, it depends on when it's due. He's going to need it early in the week so that he can get it graded, because next week is when we're supposed to be combining the two. So he needs a chance to grade it, and then we need a chance to make any adjustments to it.
okay.
So it's going to need to be done fairly early next week.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, we
Have
could
their-
try to have it in by Saturday, but I just think that that's going to be a little hard, just because basically
Could we
like
say like Monday?
yeah, we can totally do that. I mean, because yeah, like I just told him thanks. Like I didn't really say anything back yet because I wasn't sure
Yeah.
how long we're gonna need.
Well,
So-
are we saying have everybody have their parts done by Monday, or have everybody have their parts done by Saturday and then we have it? Because Kristen and I are going to need a couple of, if it's during the week, we both work full time. So we're going to need a couple of nights to work on it.
Yeah, so could we I was meaning everyone have their stuff in by Saturday, and then that would give you guys maybe, I don't know if you'd work on it Saturday night or not, but Saturday night, and then if you would work on it Sunday, and then all of Monday, and then maybe or even Tuesday if you wanted it.
Yeah, that would be my ideal, because we're gonna finish all of the editing on the other paper on Saturday, so I've kind of dedicated my Saturday to this class. So if people could get it done, that would be totally
Yeah, I
awesome.
can definitely for sure have this in by like Saturday morning, afternoon. I mean, like earlier in the Saturday, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be.
And if Nikki, if you wouldn't mind just clarifying specifically when he needs to have that in.
Okay.
He may be thinking, if it's due Saturday, we'll have it in Monday. That
Okay.
obviously, if we're not getting stuff done till Saturday night, then that's not gonna be enough
So
time.
do you think if I just asked him like, hey, can we have the just want to verify that you're okay with a later
Us
date,
changing
and
on,
would
Tuesday.
be okay? And then that way, if we have it done by Monday, awesome, we can turn it in. But at least we have the buffer till Tuesday. Does that work? Or do you need?
Why don't we try pushing it out till Wednesday just in case? Wednesday
Okay.
night. If he needs it back sooner than that,
Okay.
that's really going to make it tough for him to get it graded and us be able to turn in the full project in time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll just verify with him to make sure that Wednesday's okay. Obviously, if he says no, I'll let you guys know ASAP. But if not, we'll just go with the assumption that Wednesday is the deadline.
Let me just check and see when revised project 2. When is this due? And it doesn't give us a due date. Hold on. Let me look. Okay, so project 2 paper is due on April 6th. Is that next Saturday? Hold on. As I know, last time when we turned it in kind of off, that it threw his grading off, and it was 2 weeks before we got it back.
Yeah, April 6th is in 2 Saturdays.
That's in 2 Saturdays, so that does give us a little bit more time. But we also need to get our PowerPoint going too.
Woohoo.
So, yay! I honestly think this next PowerPoint is going to be a lot easier than the first one we did, because most of these don't have as much information as the first paper.
Yeah. When is the PowerPoint due?
PowerPoint is due. Let's see. Presentation. I think it's due week 13. Week 13 is still locked, so I'm just kind of guessing. April 4th. Project 2 presentation is due April 4th.
Okay. And if we turn in Wednesday, then maybe he'd have it back to us by
the end of the week.
Hopefully.
Saturday.
And then that gives us Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Gives us like 4 days to do the PowerPoint.
Yeah, so that's kind of really close. I mean, we can get the first part of it done. Well, no, because we haven't turned in the full paper, so we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll just deal with it as it comes.
Okay, I'm just moving things around as we're talking, just so they're at least under the right section. And then, yeah, so I might be able to get it done even faster.
Awesome.
So obviously my section we're definitely waiting on. How many more sections like do we, you know what I mean? Like how many more are we waiting?
I still have mine that I haven't done yet. So there's that, and then I think like looking at it, and then there's Josh's.
I don't know, like if I should try and elaborate more on mine, because it's literally one sentence.
That's what I was just wondering too. I'm like, it answers the question, but I know you want more.
Yeah, but then he also doesn't like fluff, so it's like
exactly. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Yeah.
So Josh, maybe afterwards pop in real quick and ask him.
Ask him. All right.
Say, hey, this is what I have. What specifically are you looking for?
Okay.
I did that with the sales portion last night. I actually wrote it all up, and then I hopped in with him, and he read it, and then said, okay, I like this, but here you need to say this, this, and this. He literally told me word for word what to say.
Spelled it out.
Great. That's
awesome.
nice.
I was like, well, thanks.
I think he really values like being asked what to do.
He totally does. He loves to be able to give that information.
Yeah.
And I found that, you know, anytime I pop in, he's always more than happy to help out. He's never made me feel like I'm asking a stupid question, even when I ask him the same question for the third time.
Yeah. He's good at that.
So, Tanner just texted, said he's trying to get in.
Okay.
So.
And then was there anything else that we needed to talk about?
I think David's may need a little bit more tweaking once we have Nikki's done. But he's kind of stuck until we get that done too.
Okay, so everything's in its right place, even the recommended modes of entry. So hopefully, I mean, I'm just gonna like make them prettier, and definitely put the citation in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so everything should be good to run with at this point.
Okay, good.
So yeah, so hopefully anyone
Sweet.
needing anything else from that section should at least be able to see what we're not using, what we're considering, and then what we actually are using. If that makes sense. So
Sounds great.
yep, and I'm just gonna pretty it up, and that part should be done.
Yeah. I haven't really read through Tanner's yet. I mean, from the amount of information, it looks like it's probably good, but I haven't actually read through it to make sure it makes sense yet. And then we just have Camille's, and then Josh, you're gonna just check and see
Right.
what he's looking for. Because you're right, I was like, well, it answers the rubric.
Yeah, I've like looked at it multiple times, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. You do need to put the tariff code in there.
Oh, okay.
It says identify the harmonized tariff code that best represents it. So I'm assuming that he wants you to list that tariff code so he knows that you looked it up.
Okay.
Oh, hey guys, what did we end up deciding to name our company? Because I keep like wanting to put the company name in, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Well, technically it already has a name, even though we don't know what it is.
So, like,
So I would just refer back to Solstice Bulb.
the what?
I would just refer back.
Yeah, Russian.
Oh, sorry. What
Mhm.
is?
Either the Russian name, which is Solntsebulba, but I don't know. You'd have to copy and paste it from last time's, or just say the company.
Yeah, the company, or just put the English spelling of it. Because he did say that, putting I actually asked him about that, and he said putting the Russian name in once is good, but since the vice president doesn't speak Russian, then he'd like to be able to understand what he's reading. So
Okay, so what's the English pronunciation?
it's
I can type it out in
I don't think I have to use it all the time, but like when writing like the recommendation or something, something, I'll probably need to throw it in there.
I actually have the other one up. I'll just copy it into this one. I'll just put it in a comment. Let me go down and find it. Distribution. Maybe. Where the heck did that go? There it is. Okay, my internet kicked me out of it. Just a second.
While you're looking for that, I have a quick question about my section. So it talks about listing out all the different modes of transportation and everything for each of the products that we're moving around. And so it mentions like getting the products from 12.1. So I don't know, I'm not sure like how to list out all of the products that we're trying to ship, because it, like David mentions, like the equipment and like a machine. Do we have the titles of those machines, or should I just put like a machine?
I don't think we know what the machines actually are. And I don't know that he expects us to have that in-depth of information.
Okay. So then it would just be more like this, we would transport like 20 of these machines from China to this place using like these methods.
Are we going to transport the machines, or are we just going to source them from Russia? If we do the contract manufacturing, then we don't have to do that.
So in David's paragraph, he says that like we'll need equipment in China. So
I think he was confused there. We can always update that.
okay, because mine is just taking information from his and like clarifying it, but like his, I'm not quite sure what information to grab, I guess. So
yeah, as far as I understand, and you guys can tell me if I am misthinking it. The only thing we're importing is the filament, because we're only required to import one thing. And
okay.
If we can get by with doing that, then let's not make it more difficult than it
complicated. That sounds great. And we're shipping the filament from China to Russia, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So then, and then the machines will be in Russia. Right?
Yeah, because we're gonna do the contract manufacturing. So we're gonna contract with another company. So we're gonna tell them what machines we need, what the specs are, and they're gonna do it.
Okay, perfect. That clarifies that a lot. And then do we have, I haven't looked anywhere else in our paper, but do we have a quantity for how about the or for how many filaments, I guess?
No, no, we've never really discussed quantity. We're going to do a lot, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. So, um, I don't know.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Like filaments are small,
Mm-hmm.
and if we're, I don't know, shipping like a really large amount at the same time, then like that would change what kind of transportation we will use. So like you've got your overland travel like trucks or trains. So I don't know, like I feel like if we were to transport more, then we would go with like train versus a truck,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know.
I would say order more and do the
Okay.
train
Okay.
because that's going to give you a better price. Usually, when you're ordering something from another company, you're going to get a discount if you're ordering more. And you also have to consider the turnaround time. You need to have enough inventory on order so that, or in stock, that we can continue to make these so we don't sell out and like, oh, wait, we're not going to have any more filaments for another 2 weeks because it takes that long to get them from China.
Okay. And then I shouldn't go too in depth with that, right? Like I don't have to say we're gonna need this much like every 2 weeks and estimate the cost. I don't know. It says to estimate the cost, and I just don't know how to do that without specifics.
Right. Let me pull up the rubric. Oh, geez, my internet is being so slow.
Yeah, because just in the thing it says that, or in the thing of what I have to do, I have to identify the frequency of the shippings, I guess, and duration. So I mean, I don't know. I could kind of like just guesstimate that and say like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would say guesstimate.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks, you're going to have 500,000 filaments shipped in or something like that.
Did you say like 50,000?
I don't know, 50,000, 500,000, a million, however many think we're going to go through.
All right.
That might not be a bad idea to jump in and ask him. Just a reminder, I don't know if you guys saw your emails, but he's not going to be in his Zoom office tomorrow. So any questions we have, we should ask him tonight.
Okay. Sounds good. It's too bad he didn't. Did he usually come to our Thursday meetings? I don't even know.
I thought because we changed the time, it would make it really hard for him because he had other teams lined up.
Yeah, well, he says he has the others like every hour on the hour.
Okay.
So he was going to be able to pop into this one for a little bit, but yeah, I'm not sure.
So I've already begun section 10.1 like rewording, and I've been able to actually make them quite shorter just by paraphrasing them and as like why they're not a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he likes that rather than like a bunch of like regurgitated information. Obviously, I guess we'll have to wait until he gives us his opinion. But if you guys wanted to look at it, if you feel it's like way too, I'm still not quite done with it, but if it looks way too small, like let me know and I can undo some stuff and put more like info in it. But I was just trying really hard to like not do like word for word, just basically like give the gist of what it is and why it's not the right fit at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me know because like I figure before I get too far into it with that thought process of doing it that way, if you guys want more, then that way I'm not taking so much out, if that makes sense. Because it'll be easier to like go redo a few of them than get through the entire thing and then have to go back and add more in.
kind of like off topic to that, we are not using like the R's and we's, right? Like we said that we shouldn't use those.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. So what should we be?
Yeah, I was
So-
wondering about that. If something like, well, if we have something like, I am deciding what supplier to use, then
Mhm.
do I say we decided, or
It
I,
has,
I would do it like in the company should not, like in this first, like when Nikki, your acquisition part, like the company should not consider the possibility
Okay.
of licensing or like kind of
Yeah.
making recommendations from
Okay.
like the
So
third.
instead of like our company, should I put in the company name or just the company?
The company.
company.
Okay. Yeah, because that's where I was like, I don't even know the name.
Yeah. Or another option that he said he really likes is just, it has been decided, or it is recommended that,
Okay,
you know.
I can do that. Okay, so I will take out all personalization.
Yeah.
I know it's so hard, right? Because you just want to like,
I know.
I don't want to be like straight with it. I want to be like, oh, I think maybe this. Anyway.
Well, in a real company would be saying, you know, company XYZ will do this, or even we will do this, or the
Right.
manufacturing department will do this, you know.
Mhm.
But we don't have that here, so I don't know.
Alrighty.
Okay, are we good?
I think we're good. So, oh, Tanner, we said that we got an extension for when we're turning this in, and so we're all going to have our sections done Saturday morning, Saturday midday, and then that'll give Trisha and Kristen time to
edit.
edit.
Yeah, and Nikki's gonna find out exactly when he expects it, when it needs to be turned in.
Okay,
Confirm date.
great.
Great, cool.
Awesome.
Maybe you guys can. I'm trying to fix it up to not use we or us, but the wording seems kind of weird. Maybe you guys could help me a little just to look it
We're in
over.
12.4.
Yeah, and 12.3.
12.3. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So
There's-
for our product parts, I think we could just change that to import the filament for the spectrum lighting, because that's all that we're importing.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just
Okay.
do that real quick. Okay, no, I won't, because it kicked me out again.
Oh.
My computer's
I'll
doing.
do.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's see.
Oh, mine's- I would say just among the suppliers, the best option, like just take out that.
Mm-hmm.
Among the competing suppliers,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or even just, it is recommended we use whatever the name of that company is, because there's no way in heck I can pronounce it.
Yeah.
It's recommended that the company use some blah blah blah. Yeah, so you can just even do this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I always do that.
Yeah, and then again, we're only importing the filament, so we don't need to worry about the tariffs for the parts, I mean, for the glass and the plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So we can take that out too. I think we may need to change your last sentence, because he's going to ask for some type of quantification on that, where it talks about how they put together over 1,400 shipments, so that means they're the best. He's going to ask for some type of quantification.
Uh-huh. Quantification.
As far as, why just because they're the most popular means they're the best.
I see.
I'll do some Googling and see if I can find any type of statistics on that company.
Yeah.
To show that, they have a 95% on time rate or something like that,
I see. Those kind
so
of.
so we can put cold hard statistics. He doesn't want anything in there that makes it look like we're drawing our own conclusions, even though it's asking for our conclusions. If that makes sense. We need to have something to back that up.
Yeah. Right. I see what you mean. Yeah. See if I can find something more. I use that were given to us. So I didn't get much information, but let's see if Google has something.
I wonder if their company has a website where they brag on themselves. Bloomberg doesn't have much on them. Let's see.
Also,
so
I
hard to
just
find
in that last
credible
sentence,
sources now. Everything's.com.org.
In that last sentence, I would get rid of just all of the beginning stuff, because it's, I don't know, that's kind of like fluff information, like, yeah, just like another factor is, or I don't know.
Are you talking about
yeah, the other factor that influences the decision to choose the company.
in 12.4?
Yeah, sorry. I just, like a good rule of thumb is to just like say what you're wanting to say without like adding to it. Because like, if we were talking, you would say that maybe like.
Get to the point.
Yeah. So, other than that, I think it looks great. So
maybe something like so just something like also. Something like that.
Are you trying to say that Son Quinn has more buyers than all other countries combined? Or just they have more than any other country?
No, more than the other two suppliers that we. Yeah, they have more buyers than two suppliers that we have researched combined.
Oh, okay.
I should change that up. Yeah, good eye.
They have a hotel chain.
Maybe you could say Also, Son Quinn has more, or let's see. Son Quinn imports more shipments than the other two potential suppliers combined, or something like that.
Other possible suppliers.
Right.
You could even preface that and say like this company, Son Quinn, is very experienced and in that they have the most buyers. I don't know, like kind of explain why you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Okay, guys, my fiance is getting really impatient because he has dinner ready. So I am going to dip out if that is okay.
That's totally fine. Go enjoy that dinner.
Thank
Definitely
you.
encourage that behavior while it lasts.
Yes, that
Yes.
dinner girl.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, I think we're good. If we all just kind of put comments on each other's, anything that we see or have suggestions about, then that would be good.
Sounds good.
Okie doke. Oh, analysis. Alrighty, so let's, I guess we'll kind of talk through the thing. Nikki, if you could just send out a quick text once you have that specific time nailed down, then we'll be good.
Yeah, I definitely will. I remember like when I emailed him the last time, I didn't get the reply till the next morning. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll get it to you as soon as I get it. I'm just not sure.
Right.
It'll come back to me.
Yep. Okie dokie.
Alrighty, guys.
Hey, thanks everyone.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.